Some men were born to fight. Some were born to lead. But one man, one disciple, was born to love. His name was John, the youngest of the 12, the quiet one, the one who leaned close enough to hear the heartbeat of the Son of God. While others argued over greatness, he listened. While others fled, he stayed. From the waves of Galilee to the foot of the cross, John's journey was not marked by thunder or rebellion, but by faith that endured. And when the world tried to silence him, heaven itself opened to speak. This is his story, John the Beloved, the disciple of love and revelation. The Sea of Galilee whispered softly that morning. Nets glistened with dew. The wind carried salt and silence. John, son of Zebedee, brother of James, a young man of quiet strength and thoughtful eyes, worked the nets beside his father. Then came the call, "Follow me." The voice of the Nazarene pierced the stillness. Neither command nor plea, but invitation. John looked up, and in that moment, everything changed. He left the boat, left the nets, left the only life he'd ever known, to follow a teacher whose eyes seemed to see eternity. Beside his brother James and his friend Peter, John became one of the three closest to the Master. He saw miracles unfold like dawn breaking through darkness, the blind seeing, the dead rising, water becoming wine. Yet John's strength wasn't in volume or might. His was the power of presence. Silent, steadfast, loyal. When others doubted, John believed. When others boasted, John listened. He was young, maybe the youngest of them all, but his faith burned pure and constant. Jesus saw that heart and gave him a name whispered through generations, the beloved disciple. In every light there must be shadow, and John walked beside both. He saw the storms, the betrayals, the fear in men's eyes when truth demanded courage. He heard Peter's bold promises and watched them crumble by a courtyard fire. Yet through it all, John remained close. He leaned against Jesus at the Last Supper, the rhythm of the Master's heartbeat still echoing in his memory. He heard words no one else dared to speak aloud, words of unity, sacrifice, and love unending. "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you." And when the soldiers came with torches, John followed, not as a warrior, but as a witness. He stood at the foot of the cross when others fled. The beloved remained. As the sky darkened and the earth trembled, he saw agony become redemption. And from that cross, through the pain, Jesus spoke his final act of love. "Behold your mother." From that day forward, John took Mary into his home, caring for her as his own, fulfilling the Lord's trust with quiet devotion. The same arms that once steadied the nets now held the mother of the Messiah. After the resurrection, the beloved ran to the tomb, faster than Peter, but he waited at the door. He saw the linen folded, the body gone, and he believed. Years passed. John preached in Jerusalem, then in Ephesus. He watched the early church grow under persecution and grace. He wrote his gospel, not as a historian, but as a lover of truth. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. His pen carried eternity. He saw beyond miracles and into meaning, that every act of Christ revealed not only power, but personhood. And when persecution came, John stood unbroken. Arrested by Rome, he was exiled to the rocky island of Patmos. Alone, aged but unafraid. There, under the roar of the sea and the crash of waves, heaven opened. He saw thrones, crowns, angels, and beasts. The veil torn away. He saw the Son of Man in glory. Eyes like fire, voice like many waters. "I am the first and the last," the voice declared. John fell as though dead. Yet the hand that once healed the leper now rested on him again. Do not be afraid. The same Jesus, now radiant beyond imagination, still called him beloved. Years rolled like waves on the shore. Empires rose and fell. The apostles faded one by one. Peter crucified, Paul beheaded, James slain by the sword. Yet John remained, the last of the 12, the final living voice that had once heard the heartbeat of God. Frail, old, eyes dimmed by time, yet his spirit burned bright. When he could no longer walk to the assemblies, they carried him, and to every gathering of believers, he would speak only this: "Little children, love one another." When asked why he repeated it, John replied, "Because it is the Lord's command, and if only that be done, it is enough." The beloved who had seen glory, miracles, and visions beyond comprehension, had learned one simple truth. Love is the power that outlives death. When his time came, John laid down not in fear, but in peace. The disciple who never abandoned the cross now entered eternity, reunited with the one he loved most. And even now, his words remain. God is love, a truth written not with ink, but with a life fully surrendered. He saw what no man had seen. He heard what no man could bear. The glory of Christ unveiled, the end of all things revealed. And through it all, John remained what he had always been, faithful, humble, and full of love, exiled and forgotten by the world, yet remembered by heaven. The last apostle, the final witness, the voice that still echoes through the ages. God is love. The torch he carried still burns. In every act of mercy, every word of truth, every believer who refuses to lose faith. This was John, the beloved, and if his story stirred your soul, share it. Subscribe, like, and join us again as we continue our cinematic journey through the men and women who walked beside Christ. Stories of faith, stories of courage, stories that still shine in the dark.